see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Darrick McGhee.
And I'm Tikia McGhee.
Another episode of Just the Two of Us, our podcast. We talk about our relationship, our friendship. We laugh, we joke, and also try to give you some marital nuggets we think is going to be helpful. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Rested?
Something like that.
I got it.
Life's been busy, but things are good.
Yes.
Things are good.
Yes.
So this episode, we're going to do something a little bit different, but fun. So Tikia, a while back, I don't know how long ago it was, bought these cards that we use sometimes when we do our Marriage Matters ministry at the church. And they provoke conversation between you and your spouse, or you and a group if you're at a table. So for this episode, I've asked both of us to pull two cards from that stack that's going to provoke conversation. I don't know what her cards are going to say. She doesn't know mine either. This shall be fun. Anything you want to say before we get started?
No, I'm a little nervous because I didn't see your cards.
That's right. You want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay, let's do it.
Here we go. So my first question. If for some reason I lost my memory, what's the first thing you'll tell me about us?
That from day one, you was madly in love with me.
Oh. Okay.
Well, that's a really good question. What would I would say
I was the most prettiest girl in the world.
Well, yeah, that's true. But that's a really good question. I would say our life together has been better than we both probably imagined.
I like that.
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's strong.
Yeah. And it's like the text you sent me earlier this week about the older guy guiding his wife along.
Yeah.
Who had dementia. Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Anything could happen.
Yes.
Wow.
I love it.
So I have to pose a question back to you. That same question, which was, once again, if for some reason I lost my memory, what's the first thing you tell me about us?
I'm trying to think of how I want to put it in words. You've always loved me, always have, and you always will. Our love story is funny, but yet purposeful.
I can live with that. That's good. All right.
Uh-oh.
I'm coming out the gate strong.
I'm nervous.
So the first question is, why do you trust me?
Oh, you coming in hot, bro. I trust you because you're a man of character and integrity, right? Mm-hmm. You've never given me a reason to doubt that you're not telling the truth. And I think if trust was broken, that would be hard for me. I can't say other couples, but that would be hard for me to rebuild and start the trust all over again. Because once trust is broken, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah. So for me to answer that question, why do I trust you? Simple answer is, you've never given me a reason not to trust you.
Right.
The longer answer is, from the very beginning, mm-hmm. you have been exactly who you say you were going to be. The same point, you have been more of a supporter than I can ever ask you to be.
Not gonna cry.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like this journey we've been on over these 20 plus years. It's a journey I couldn't even imagine. Right? I did not fathom the roller coaster ride this has been, which has been fun, but I didn't imagine it. And so if I had imagined this, I don't know if I had the right to ask you to go on the ride with me, right? Because if this is why I believe God doesn't give us full glimpses of things He's going to do.
Yes.
Because we'll mess it up individually, whatever it may be. And so if I knew some of the things that we've experienced, whether it be ministry, some of the parental challenges, we talked about in one other episode about getting pregnant, whatever it may have been, some things you think about, like, is it fair to have somebody else or ask somebody else to be on that ride with you? And so when I think about, you have never, and I can underline the word never, you have never used your tongue to speak doubt, death, or defeat to any vision I've ever had. And that's more than anybody ever deserves, right? Because the power of the tongue is strong. Power of the tongue is even stronger when somebody is in your space of vulnerability, right? So if somebody that I meet once or twice told me I couldn't do something, it really wouldn't bother me. If a coworker of mine spoke out, I would look at that as fuel, competition.
Right.
But if you said I couldn't do it, those words mean something completely different.
Because I can remember when we moved to the current location that the church is in now. He was so excited. And I walked in the room and was like, what in the world is this? And I was like, okay, Tikia, he's the visionary. You just be quiet. Trust the God in him. And that's what I did. Yeah. Because, honey, if they would have seen what I saw, oh, my God.
And my excitement I didn't see what we were standing in.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Because we were standing in.
Neither one of us did, though, really.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. But also, what I saw was bigger than what we were.
Yes.
And it had so much potential. That's why I've said before that there are people who come to church now that they are worshiping in or sitting in what God showed me when we walked into a deplorably vacant building.
Right.
And so, again, so that's what I will. So you never give me a reason not to trust you, but also you have given me more than I could have ever asked you to give, and continue to do, right? And continue to do. It's the simple things. It's the blessing, I think, of our friendship, beyond our marriage. Our friendship is, I hope I do it for you, but you definitely do it for me, which is the calming effect, right? Because I can be like this nonstop, moving and shaking, and it's a calming effect of whether it's your hand on my hand, your hand on my shoulder. So you guys will know that sometimes, when I feel overwhelmed with a decision I have to make, or a lot is happening at the same point, whether it be business, whether it be, trying to provide the best care for my parents, make the right decision as a husband, as a father, whatever it may be, there are moments where I'll just lay my head in your lap.
I think you did that recently last week.
Yeah, and sometimes, and for me, it's just, it's as much as I'm a visionary, thank God for that, as much as I get excited off challenges and new ventures, there's a fear that comes with that, right? Because it's not, I told this to Tikia before, if I were single, which I don't want to be, but if I were single, I would be even more daring with decisions, even more daring with business opportunities. And that's not always good.
No.
But I would, because if I fail, it only affects me. I'm way more cautious about decisions, and I'm way more prayerful about things because I know it's more than just me. And so you bring a calming in many times of chaos. There are times I've called Tikia, like in the heat of a moment of frustration, I'm venting, and I'm like at 10. And she'll ask a question or make a statement. And in the moment you don't want to hear it, right? You want that person to meet you at your 10 and be just as riled up. But it's that calming effect that I'm grateful for that, because I can only imagine some of the knocks I would have on my head if God hadn't allowed you to be who you are, right? And this is what I always try to say to you, like, those who know you love you. right? And so don't ever change who you are because a few people who encounter you decide they're gonna be who they're gonna be. The people who know you, people who show up for you, appreciate who you are, and you're consistent, right?
I try to
Like
be.
kid, we can go into a large room. She gonna give a general high, but she ain't about to go move and shake through the crowd. Like she gonna, now so it's interesting. You always been this way, and I appreciate it, right? And so so that's why I trust you. Your next card.
My next card says, describe specifically the moment that you realized you loved me.
Well, that's strong. So I would tell you, I know exactly when it was. It was early in our relationship
Yeah,
too.
aha moment.
No,
Okay.
I remember it like yesterday. It was we had just started dating. Come on, like I'm talking about, we probably hadn't even dated a month yet. And so this is gonna sound deep. Before I even answer your question, it's gonna sound deep, but I mean this.
Okay.
So before I approached you that Monday night, I'd already had love for you. And here is why. Because I think I talked about in a previous episode, I went on that 1 year dating sabbatical. The Lord spoke to me clearly about I need to just stop everything. And so that Sunday night when my godmom called me, shout out my Mama Judy, and said the Lord told her, tell me your wife is right in front of you, but you keep ignoring her. That word was so life altering and impactful that when I woke up the next morning, I was so locked in, so focused that my attention was so clear of, Lord, I'm paying attention now. And so when I saw you that night, I tell this story, y'all think I'd be joking. I say like it was a crowded room with people, and the room was crowded.
It was crowded.
All I saw was you. Like it's like a movie, right? But all I saw was you. That's why when I saw that dude trying to get your number, like I'm not a hater on nobody. You know that about me. Like my nature is never to hate on anybody, to speak ill of anybody. But that night I'm like, listen, bro, you in the way. Get out the way. Like, and so that's why I said, little boy, your phone number. Like, you need a real man in your life. Anyway, so we started dating. Then we went on that. I went on that church trip. Tabernacle went to Detroit, and they gave you the option once you got there to do two things: either go to the movies at the hotel, which another professor had come out, or go on a boat to go over to Canada. Well, I wasn't interested in going to Canada, so I went to the movie. And there was a particular situation where there's a young lady at the church we were at the time who allegedly liked me, and her family members seemed very content.
These are my investigative terms. Allegedly.
Yeah, they seemed very content and focused on trying to get us together. And what I didn't know was they knew we had started dating. I didn't know that, so I felt it was important to make that known. Like, hey, I'm in a relationship. They knew it, just didn't care, and they did everything they possibly could try to get this to work out. Thank God for Mama Whitfield, because she picked up on it early. I've always been slow to things like that, so she like became a major block, which I appreciate. But I remember when the whole thing transpired, and I started realizing what they were attempting to do, I became a bit emotional. But I remember calling you. I don't know if I called you or I told you when we got back. Whatever it was, I felt so compelled and convicted. Like, I didn't make sure she knows this. So I remember telling you, like, hey, this happened. I didn't do anything, but this thing happened. By the time we got back from that church trip, which you were not on, I think by that Wednesday y'all had like collegiate choir or something like that, and it was getting out. And you were so unbothered by it because we had already talked about it. But for me, it was in the moment of all they were trying to do that I realized I love this. We were just started dating because the old nature would have tried to play both sides. But in that moment, I was like, oh man, like what my godmom prophesied to me, I'm now experiencing, and I know the prophecy is real. I'm not trying to ruin this. And then to add to that, like it was an overwhelming, compelling, like you need to tell her what's going on. And for me, like in that moment, I don't know how you're gonna react. I don't know. I feel like that was the first test, really, of my integrity to you, right? Because I could have been like, man, we out of town, but she don't know if she won't know, and left it at that. And the first time you could approach me had been after that Wednesday, and all of a sudden now I'm having to explain. And so for me, it was that in situation where it's like, I love you too much that even if you're not with me, I'm not gonna hurt you. Real
That's
talk.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. All right.
We're game, y'all.
Here we go. What do you love about our relationship?
I love the love we have for each other, but most of all,
No, hold on. I'm sorry. No,
Most
you
of
got
all-
to. No, you got to answer the. You got to answer the question too. No, you already answered it, right? You answered it. Why do you trust me? You already answered it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So we love most about our relationship. I
I
apologize.
didn't see your moments already. Put you in the home, sir. What's my question?
What do you love most? What do you love about
Okay.
our relationship?
I love for each other, but most of all, I love our friendship.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think when you're friends with your spouse, best friends with your spouse, and yes, you can be best friends with your spouse.
Absolutely, 100%.
Bitter. No, mind. I ain't gonna get on that. It's easy. It's easy to have conversations.
Yeah.
Even when we say they're hard conversations, technically they're not hard conversations because you're having a conversation with your friend.
Yeah.
So I want to say I love our friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that because we started out as friends.
Yeah.
Right. And it moved swiftly, but we built a foundation,
Yeah.
which I think is important. And let me just share that the things that we experienced early in our relationship, in our engagement, in our marriage, even before Didi came and when he came, 100% it was God. 100%. Like there's no taking that away. But also I'm grateful for the foundation of a friendship, right? Because there are things that we experienced early in that without a foundation in Christ and then a foundation in friendship secondarily, people don't withstand it, right? I've been fortunate to do weddings and unfortunate to do post-marital counseling, and either people deceive you during the counseling sessions, you just lack the discernment, or whatever it may be. You start realizing, like, man, like there are times we've been around people, heard stories, and we've come home, but like, man, I appreciate you, right? Because it's like you start thinking, right? You're looking like that.
Like, you put up with what? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would the same question posed to me. I would say our friendship. I've always valued our friendship. It's amazing. You know, for me, true friendship is the ability to be 100% vulnerable with the person. That person knows you're vulnerable, and that person does everything they possibly can to never hurt you, knowing that you are vulnerable, right? I don't let people in. Like my circle, we talked about this at the dinner tonight. My circle is very small, on purpose and unapologetically.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to grow it at all, right? I'm just not. I remember, it's a funny story. So, you know, I have my covenant brothers, and we get together. We talk every day. But we get together sometimes. And one time, Pastor Rowe was like trying to add in, I think, 2 other pastors to be with us. Hey, listen, he put it in text like, "Hey, man, you mind if I invite such and such?" And the entire day, no one responded to the text. The entire day. And I finally texted. I said, "Man, listen, you can invite them. I ain't coming." As soon as I said it, then Big Bro Ash chimed in like, "I'm with D." So when we finally, the 5 of us got back together again, it was like the biggest laugh. And I'm like, "Man, listen, bro, like no disrespect to the dudes you wanted to invite. They cool dudes, but this space is so safe, sacred, and vulnerable that I know me, I'm not going to open up if you invite somebody in who hadn't been through what we all been through together. So when I think about our relationship, like there's no one who walks this earth that knows the deep, dark like you do. Not even my own mama, who I'm very close with. Like, you know things. I love you, Mom. But you know things, and so you have a lot of material you could use to hurt.
Write a tell-all book, yeah.
To hurt. But also you have the ability to say things in moments that could be crushing, and you choose not to. So Tikia's, one of her favorite lines is, "I can say so much." And I hate when she does that. We could be in the middle of a conversation, whatever it may be, and I'll say something off the wall. She'll be like, "I can say so much." And I know she really could say so much.
But I was just choosing to be quiet.
And as a guy who was initially going to school to be a lawyer, like I'm ready to debate and go at it. I got to make my point known. I got to explain. I got to give you evidence and all that type of stuff. And she'd be like, "I can say so much." And I'm like, "Then say it."
Oh my!
Just say what you gotta say.
Aggressive.
I'm ready to respond. She'd be like, "Nope, I can say so much." And I think there's a discipline in that reserve because and I have to.
Like you have stuff that you could say that could cuss you, you could leave the room wounded.
Yeah.
It's just like choosing your words.
Yeah. You listen. You can't apologize but those words matter. Right?
Yeah.
That old saying we grew up around about sticks and stones may break my bones, words will never hurt me. That's cute when you're in elementary school, right?
But really, it's not cute when you're in elementary school.
Okay, it's not.
It should
right.
never be taught.
Correct.
Because words hurt.
Words hurt very deeply, right? And you can carry that stuff. We're both in our 40s. Me older than you, but we're in our 40s. And there are things that
an old man.
the things that you recall that have impact, right? Like
even from school, elementary school. Yeah.
That are impactful, right? So I appreciate our friendship, and it's fun and it's exciting.
It is.
But I also, when I think about our relationship, it's a friendship. I think what I love most about our relationship, other than the friendship, is our conversations, right? It's fun conversations about any and everything.
Like last night was date night. We was just flowing.
Yeah.
We went from one thing to the next thing to the next.
But it's fun because it's like when you in a conversation with somebody that you love and you enjoy being around, anything is worth talking about.
Right.
And so I appreciate our conversations because, and with Tikia, which is fun conversation, because Tikia literally will just blurt out something. And I'll be like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Like, we're in the middle of something completely different. You throw out something. I'm like, okay, so we're just completely just shifted.
And anybody who knows me, the people I work with, my sister circle, they know if I'm flowing, I can shift at any moment. You just gotta get on the ride.
And like, you gonna finish that last statement?
No.
You moved on. Okay, here we go. We're shifting and we're shifting and we're shifting. But I appreciate our conversations because I am one from the beginning of our relationship. I could say it was your physique, right? The way you looked, the way you 100% it was.
The way you walk.
This is who it is, right? That's true. But for me, what I've always been
walking like a stallion. Go ahead, I'm gonna finish. Okay, I'm gonna be silly. I'm sorry.
Lord have mercy.
I'm sorry. Okay.
My little fan.
I got him hot, y'all.
So hilarious. It was the late night conversations, even when you fell asleep on the phone.
Okay.
But like it was those conversations, right?
It
was those conversations where like you just literally time going by. You gotta get the next morning.
We have nothing but time.
You still want to talk, right? You're dreaming and thinking about life. And I wish, truthfully, that we can go back to some of those early conversations and just remember some of the stuff. Some of the stuff I don't remember we talked about, but I
that
hope.
was the night you fell asleep.
No. True, I probably did too. But I'm talking about like you would ask me questions like about dreams, and I really wish I could remember the depth of what I share, and then be able to look then to now and see. Right, like I've always been a big dreamer.
You always.
I've always had big faith. Right, but you were asking me questions about dreams. And I'm casting big faith when nothing in my life at that time complimented what I was talking about, right? And that's why, for me, this is not arrogance. For me, walking around cocky makes me uncomfortable because I know I am the benefactor of the amazingness of who God is. Because when we started dating, we talked about this in another episode, like I didn't have anything to offer. I had a lot of faith and big dreams and big goals. I remember those conversations because it was, even in those conversations, I remember you ever saying things like, "Oh, that's stupid. That's crazy. Are you serious?" Like it was never that. Like I was living on Stuckey Avenue, right? Fixed income just about, and talking about wanting to own things and do things and things of that nature. And you would never, now you may have been rolling your eyes, you like to make facial expressions, but I was on the phone, so I don't know what you look like. But you never out of your mouth said anything that was deadly or like, dang, none of that. Even when we were in each other's company, I would say things like, your body language was never like somebody who's like, I'm gonna go along with this just because, but I don't believe in it. Like it was never that. And I don't know what you were talking about with God in your prayer time, but when we were together, you would never ever say anything. I remember one of the greatest statements you've made that I've always appreciated about our relationship is when you said it before. The first time you said, I remember it, but you said, I was like, Darrick, I believe in the God in you. And that to me is encouraging because, as you know, people close to me know, I try very carefully not to move without hearing God clearly. And there have been times, going to the calming effect, there have been times where I've been ready to make some serious decisions out of emotions. I've gotten frustrated. And Kia will simply ask, what is God saying? You'll be like, oh, all right, you're right. Let me go pray. Right? Because you get frustrated, you're ready to make a move.
Emotions.
And I, I don't lack confidence in the abilities God has given me.
Yeah.
But even in that regard, God-given abilities won't produce the results they're supposed to give if you're outside of God's will. So that calming effect. So I've always appreciated that, our conversations. And yeah, so those are our 4 cards. You got another one? I put a third one out just because I think you have another one.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
When you close your eyes and think of me, what do you see?
Walking like a stallion. What do I see? I see. This is funny you asked this question. This is a true story. Funny you asked this question. Remember, I was traveling recently. I was in Tampa this past Monday, and on my ride back, I came back. We did all these meetings and I drove back, and I was exhausted. And trying to get home, I was just exhausted. That was a long ride, and just so if you're ever in a car with me because you have to be in the car with me by myself, which doesn't make sense. But if you ever like a fly on the wall, I do a lot of things in the car. That's like I talk out loud, right? Like I usually I'll record something. Like sometimes God will give me sermon titles, things of that nature. I'm talk texting, whatever you call it. And so there was a moment in the ride back where I started talking to myself. It's a true story. It's gonna sound crazy, but it's so true. And I was exhausted. And I remember asking myself, man, why are you trying to get home? Like almost to the point where, like, if it weren't session, I probably would have stayed overnight and then drove back the next morning when I was more rested. But I was trying to get back. I remember just asking myself, why are you trying to get home? And this is exactly what I said in my mouth. It's not a lie. I said, got to get back to her.
Oh.
Right. There's things you do. So when you ask the question, you close your eyes. What do you think about? What do you see? I see us. Right. And that's really what, if there's any motivation I have, like, I have this phrase, 3 depend on me. We're talking about you and the kids. The motivation I have, it's every dream, every goal, every aspiration, every hope for the future is you and all of them. And I remember we talked about this previously about when you had the myomectomies, and I was on my face at the altar at Tabernacle crying out to God. I remember saying, Lord, I'm not getting up until I'm at peace. And I remember saying to God on that floor, Lord, I can't do this without her. I'm trying not to cry. I can't do this without her. Like everything that you've been promising me, I don't want any of that if she's not in it. I'm being honest with you. I'm being, this is not even game. Like, I'm being serious. And so when I close my eyes, I see us, and whatever shape we in, whatever it may be, like, I see us. And I think about when we first bought the house many years ago, and we got hit with a financial requirement we were expecting, and how it put us in a financial bind. You're from here. You could have gone back to your mama house and said, I'll catch you in 2 weeks or whatever. Like, you was like, nope, we're gonna get through this together. Like, there's moments. And so for me, it's that, right? Like, it's there is a drive I have that pushes me to get back to you. And this is why my wife would tell you, I travel a good amount for other business opportunities I'm involved in. And one of my greatest desires is for the day when Tikia, on every opportunity I invite her, she comes. Right? Like, it's lonely when you're traveling without the person you want to be with the most. I'm like, can you go with me on this trip? So I had to go in Orlando at the end of March, in February, and Tikia went. I was giving a closing keynote speech. Kia went. We ended up making a whole trip out of it. They covered the expenses, and we stayed over an extra day. It was just it's fun, it's exciting, but that's why I'll get on the road and drive back, and I'm exhausted because I'm trying to get back to you, right? Versus staying an extra night to get more rest. And so yeah, that's when I close my eyes. What I think about. What about you?
I knew you was going. Okay, so first when I close my eyes and think of you, I see my husband living out his dreams. And then other times when I close my eyes and think of us, I think of us sitting on the front porch rocking, getting it growing all together.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm already bald, so I ain't got to worry about that part. I like that. So here's a closing statement. One. Describe one experience you wish we'd have in the future.
The one experience I wish we would have in the future is us, of course the kids will be grown and gone. It's us looking at each other as like, we leaving. We're going on a trip. We'll be back when we get back. Not having a care in the world almost. Because we've settled at that point in life where you are not worried about much other than taking care of each other and being in good health. But yes.
Yeah, I love all that. That probably be my answer, right? You know, one of the things I look for in the future is our Hawaii trip, right? Like that's like big bucket list check off, right? Yes. We're nearing that, which I'm excited about. One experience that I wish we have in the future that involves us, but it's not a trip. It's a moment. And it's the moment where I look at you or you look at me and we both can agree we did right by the kids.
Oh, I like that.
Right? That's, yeah.
It's a very thoughtful.
No, but I mean, I think about this all the time. Like, I really do. Like, so before we close out, so I had the privilege of taking our son before we started college on a daddy-son trip. And it was an idea that became a reality. And we went away. Yeah. He drove, which was even more amazing. And we had a lot of conversations, you know, thought-provoking, but conversations. Some that he led, some that I led. Just fun time. Yeah. But there was a moment when he was in the shower that I was sitting on the edge of my bed, and I wasn't crying, but I was thinking. And I remember saying out loud, oh, this is probably one of the hardest moments of my life. Because of the reality. Listen, and our son is in college in the same city. But it is the releasing of your child. And they have to make decisions that you can't make for them. Yeah. And so you're hoping that all that we put in him, we've done right. We prepared him for whatever comes. Thanks be unto God, he's doing great. But in those moments, if you want to experience some real fear, be a parent. That's true. Right? Where that's a feeling. So then, you know, he's doing well, still have the check-ins, and now think about it from a dad having a daughter. Yeah. Right? Like I love you. Like there's no one who competes with you. It's the Lord and it's you, right? But I've said that out of my mom before. Like I would probably end up in prison over my daughter. Like I will fight somebody's child over my daughter. And so, you know, I desire for those moments, and we're doing right by them. But I desire for that moment we can look and see them flourishing in whatever they desire to be. We can say we did right by the kids.
I like that.
And then we can. I think at that point, what you laid out becomes that much easier to do because you're not worried about it, right? So before we wrap up, anything you want to close out with? Any words of encouragement? Any wisdom you want to give? You want to promote any event you got going on?
Oh, actually, we have 2 events going on at the church. This Thursday, April 10th, We're having our first ever women's empowerment service, and Reverend Alicia Hudson is our speaker. Then
What time?
at 7 o'clock at our church, Bible-based church, 3986 Woodville Highway. Woo-hoo. Then we are having a Mother's Day Pretty Hat brunch, Saturday, May 10th, from 11:30 to 1:30, and our guest speaker is Lady Stephanie Brown.
Tickets?
Yes. Tickets for that event are $40 for adults, and girls 13 and up, it's $40. And those that are 12 and under that would like to attend with their mothers, the cost is $20.
Cost is $20. Amen. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we count it a privilege and an honor. God continues to bless us tremendously with the opportunity to have this space with each one of you. What you see is what you get, is who we are. We enjoy each other. This is the Tikia behind the titles and the masks. To really relax, and we enjoy our time together. Thank you for being on this ride. Thank you.
Thank you for choosing me.
Yeah, no, thank you for. God gave me a vision for this podcast, and I thought, I was like, I'm gonna propose it to her, and thank you for agreeing. This is fun, exciting. I enjoy doing life with you. Listen, I'm Darrick McGhee.
And I'm Tikia McGhee.
You've been blessed to be a part of the episode of Just the Two of Us. We talk about marriage, about life, our friendship, future goals, aspirations. Most important, talk about an amazing God. We believe that marriage still matters. Have a great evening. God bless you all.
Have a good one.